I learned something a few years ago that has completely changed the way I think about my email list. And of course, over the years, I've had a lot of people watching my content in one way or another, even as early as 20 years ago. But I regret not keeping an email list from all those years. It was only in the last few years, once I learned this thing, that I kept my email list up to date and I collected emails everywhere I go, every single day. What I learned is that for every one person on your email list, you should be able to make $1 per month, the same amount of emails you have in your list. So let me do some math here. If you have 100 people on your email list, that means that conceivably you are able to make $100 per month from that email list. But what if you have 1,000 people on your list? That's when things start to get really interesting. $1,000 per month. What would an extra $1,000 per month do for your life? Do to help you with something, with bills, with your rent, with your mortgage? How would it help you go on trips or take care of a certain expense that's nagging at you? And what if your list had more like 3,000 or even 5,000 people on it or 10,000 people on it? If your list has 8,333 people on it, that's $100,000 per year. So what do you do if you have no list? Well, I'm going to help you with a no list situation or a very small list situation. And I'm also going to help you build upon your list because let's say you have more than 1,000, but you just learned that you can make $1 per person. You want more, right? You want to go back and do more of what you did. So we'll talk about that too. So there are 5 ways that you can build your list. And these are going to be simple ways to do it. And I teach you exactly each step of these. If you have any questions about it, I teach you inside of listbuilder.pro. If you just go to that website, listbuilder.pro, I teach you step by step how to do this. But for free, I'm going to tell you right now. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to offer what's called a lead magnet. This is also called a freebie. And you may have already done this before, maybe even without realizing it, but it's a freebie. It's something that you can give away to an audience, even a small audience, let's say on Instagram or LinkedIn, or even in person. If you are ever at a conference or if you're ever in a group of people who are your target audience, you can also give this away. So it's something that if a person received it, they would think it was worth, they should have paid for it, right? So it's something that you send, but you don't spend a lot of money on it. You can spend a lot of time on it because you want it to be valuable, but you don't have to spend a lot of money on it if you don't want to. Great example is a 1-page list of things someone can do to get some sort of result. Like for instance, I could have a freebie that says the 5 things you can do to grow your list to 1,000. And I could have that on 1 page and I could have it linked somewhere where you give me your email address in exchange for the freebie, because that's going to be valuable to you. You can watch this video, you can go right to the 1 page or just read it, and that'll be valuable to you. And then it's worth giving your email address because I'll say, maybe I even say, I have these types of tips every single Sunday. I give you this type of tip that you can use for your list to grow your list. And you might say, well, let me sign up for that. So you want to think about what is a freebie. Now, in listbuilder.pro, I give you a ton of ideas of what your freebie could be, and I give you the exact scripts and templates to create your freebie, so you don't have to worry about this part at all. Another thing you could do is have a strong call to action, very clear call to action. This is like a important when you have your freebies. Like just now, again, I'm showing you by doing it. I'm telling you, my call to action is to go to listbuilder.pro, because when you go to listbuilder.pro, you'll get all these tips and tools that you'll need to build your list up, right? So that's my clear call to action. Yours doesn't have to be go to this website to do this. Yours could be look at the description below, which mine is already. Look at the description below this video and find the link for your freebie or find the link for your ... whatever you're calling it. But you want to make sure that it's clear that people understand where to go. So when you're posting on Instagram, if you post a video, if you post a text square, if you're on LinkedIn, that's an amazing place to be to have a call to action when it comes to this, especially if it's incredibly valuable for people who are working or people who are working on their entrepreneurship. So you can do all of these things, these 5 tips, even if you have like a product, if you have like you're selling soap, if you're selling candy, if all those things, you can do the same thing. You just have to find the different freebie. What would the freebie be for that? And I teach you all of that in listbuilder.pro. The third tip I have for you is to do a free mini workshop. What you could do is, and you could call this a webinar too, but what you could do is you could say, let's say on from Sunday through Wednesday, you promote this on anywhere you can, even if you have a small audience. But by the way, I just talked to someone who has an audience of 40,000 people on their Instagram, and they had not thought to bring them into emails because they didn't know about the $1 per email rule. So you might have some hidden gems somewhere. Just keep that in mind. But this free workshop could be 30 minutes, could be an hour, could be even longer if you want, but it's something very valuable that helps someone have a quick win. You want them to have a quick win. You're going to teach them something that you didn't know before, you learned it, and now you know how to teach other people to do it. It could be super simple too. You don't have to complicate it. And I have a list of things that you could offer in this workshop in listbuilder.pro. So what you could do there is you invite them to your Zoom or whatever you use. You may use something else, but I use Zoom because you can set it to where they register. And if they register for the workshop, they give you their email address and you are given their email address. And it's them opting in. Then you have the workshop, you provide an incredible amount of value, and then you can do a follow-up with them. Even so on the workshop itself, you can do an offer, but I would just give value at that point. But then in the email that follows up, thank you for coming to the workshop. If you want more of this type of information, this is ... and you have an offer on the other side of that. And we can talk about that another time. But you could also say, hey, I saw that you missed the workshop, because that's how Zoom separates it, parses it out. People who came to the workshop and people who didn't make it. So you could say for this other list, I saw that you didn't make the workshop. Here's a replay, because you have their email address. They're part of this world for you. And then the way you make the dollar per person is in the different offers that you have for them. Number 4 tip is to put your sign-up links everywhere. So if you have a great freebie or several, depending on who your audience is or what the freebie is, you need to put one link everywhere. Put it in your email signature, put it in your Instagram bio, so you can say link in bio, put it in the first thing that people see when they go to your LinkedIn, your Twitter, your groups, whatever groups you're in. You don't want to spam. I'm never going to tell you to spam anybody, but for yourself, this is like your calling card. This is like handing somebody a card. You could say, this is a link for the freebie, right? And you want to make sure that you're not being shy about it. You don't have to be in everybody's face about it. You don't have to be like a sleazy salesperson. But if you create a freebie that is valuable enough, that is helping people, you want more people to know about it. Like, right? That's kind of the point of it. You want more people to know about it. So you want to give people a chance to see it. And they're not going to see it if you put it in one video description or if you put one message out, one post on Instagram. The algorithm does not allow for the majority of the people who follow you to see that. So you want to remind them often. And then the 5th tip I have for you is this 1-day subscriber boost challenge that we're doing inside of List Builder Pro. And it gives you the step-by-step instructions of how to get 20, 40, 50 new emails in 24 hours. It's really, really cool. And now that you know that for every one person on your email list, you will make $1 per person at least. By the way, I make more than that. So it depends on what your offer is, but at least $1 per person if you nurture it and if you learn about offers and you learn about how you could do that in different ways or multiple ways to do it, things start to crystallize, right? So your goal, let me know what your goal is in the comments. If it were me and I had 0 people on my mailing list, my goal would be 1,000 new subscribers in the next 90 days to get right into it. That's what I would do. That's why I teach that in listbuilder.pro. I have the link below. You can check it out. You go through that, go through listbuilder.pro, and within, let's call it a week, you'll have more people on your list than you did before. There are people in there right now who started with List Builder Pro just a few weeks ago, and now they have hundreds or even thousands of subscribers because of what they learned inside of the platform. So you want to check it out. It is very accessible, it's extremely accessible. It's almost free. Honestly, it's almost free because compared to what you get. I want you to check it out. And the reason I have it paid and not a free membership, which I love those free memberships, is because I want you to truly do the work. And I know that if you pay just a little bit, you'll do the work, just like so many have done inside of List Builder Pro. Check it out. I'll see you there.